All right, I got kind of a big list for my watch list for Wednesday, December 27th. Starting off showing you the SPY here. Extremely narrow range today. I mean, day after Christmas. It's not surprising that it was very low volume in a narrow range. I think volume would pick up the rest of the week. And there's still plenty of crazy stuff to trade. So trading's been really good. Um, real quick, I want to mention this. There's just the end of the year is when we're ending our holiday special. So if you really want to start 2018 off and learn how to be consistently profitable, there's just I guess a few days left to get our combination chat room and course at half price. Really proud of the fact that we're actually going to teach you what a setup is and how to trade it and how to play defense and how to manage your money during a trade and how to always protect your capital and so on. I know what's out there. I know some of these rooms. I know guys that run a room with 1,000 people that will literally teach you to chase upside shape. To me, it's almost unconscionable that people out there are teaching this crap because and when I say upside shape, just a real quick example. So, these are 2 minute candles. This is TEUM today, which popped. Actually, it halted here, came out with news, opened, and within a couple seconds was halted again on a volatility halt. By the way, whoever came up with that, it helps nobody. I mean, who the hell does that help? These volatility halts. They just, let price discovery happen naturally. It's just the dumbest rule that was ever invented. If I ever meet the guy who, or the girl who invented that volatility halt idea, I'm going to kick him right in the nuts, or her in the nuts. I don't care. It's just stupid, right? If you're a trader, you understand these halts help nobody. But anyway, long story short, I know guys out there who run a room and teach a course and would literally be buying this through three, right? When it opened, ripped, halts, opens again, and then here's a whole number, and they would be buying this through three. That still could have gone to four, could have gone to five in the next 2 minutes. I'm not suggesting anybody out there did this, but it's an example of what I know happens out there. If you teach people to buy through a whole number after it's just halted twice and it's just screaming higher, and if they get away with it, they're going to lose all that money and then some down the road. So we never teach you to buy upside shape. We teach you proper setups. We teach you to enter at inflection points, so you should be green right away. We teach you to start scaling out once you're green. So then you just have to manage your money and manage the trade to make sure you don't let a green trade turn into a red trade. I've seen other people teach you to average down, and if the market's getting ready to close, don't worry. If it gaps down tomorrow, we'll just double down. We'll buy more. We don't do any of that. My equity curve, and I don't have it in front of me now, but I still don't have a red day in November and December. My equity curve for the entire year is very, very pretty. I'd put it up against any equity curve on Wall Street. It is born out of no overnight holds too, no doubling down. I never average down. So it's all about learning the entry and learning how to protect your entry once you get in. And when you enter right, you don't even have to worry about it, right? Because it starts moving in your direction. So anyway, long story short, few days left to take advantage of that. It's a great opportunity to turn 2018 into kind of a life-changing decision here if you want to be a day trader. Now I want to give you this one caveat. You're never going to be a professional day trader if you think to yourself, yeah, that sounds fun, maybe I'll do it, right? It does have to be something that in your gut, in your heart, you really know you have a passion for and you want to do it. If you don't know my story, I spent 2 decades on a General Motors assembly line with a laptop and an air card teaching myself to trade while on the line in a factory with a terrible connection. And it took me a lot. I call it my trading version of Shawshank Redemption, right? Because all the while I was just pecking away, kind of like the pockets full of gravel in Shawshank Redemption, trying to get in. The factory was my prison. And it took me a long time. And one day I showed up for work and a security guard said, "Hey, you can't bring that laptop in here." I said, "Sir, I've been bringing it in for years." And he said, "Well, it's policy." I said, "All right, well, I'm going to go put it in my car." It's 5:45 in the morning. I went out to my car, drove home, told my wife I'm quitting. At that point, I was rivaling my General Motors paycheck with my trading anyway, and I figured if I could do that from an assembly line with a terrible connection, I could do much better devoting all my attention to it. So anyway, that's my short story, my short version of my day trading Shawshank Redemption story. But the reason I say it is because there's a lot of people out there that email me, "Man, I'd love to do what you do, but I'm at work and we've got a firewall and I can't." And I'm thinking if you can get 2 days off a month, it's worth being in our chat room for those 2 days and learning and asking questions. And if you have the course, knowing what to look for and so on. So my point being, there really is no excuse if you have that passion and if you know that that's what you want to do in your heart. The entire time I was on that line, I knew. I can't say the entire time because day trading really wasn't a thing early on in the General Motors era when I was there. But as it became a thing, right around the .com bubble and all that, I knew without a doubt that's what I wanted to do. So make sure that you do have that passionate desire to trade for a living. It's the best decision I ever made because I could not love my job more. And the commute's awesome because I work from home. All right, enough babbling. Let's get to it. SPY daily chart. Again, really, really narrow range. Not uncommon for the day after Christmas. I got a lot of stuff on the list. I'm going to try to rip through them. SGLB, huge move on, I got to get this right. Let's see, this is a huge move on Thursday. And then a quiet inside day on Friday, so it's certainly worth watching tomorrow. I said that wrong. Let me go back. I'll tell you, you throw in a holiday and it throws me completely off on the days of the week. Today's Tuesday. Okay, so huge move on Friday, and then a quiet inside day today, which was Tuesday. All right, Monday the market was closed for Christmas. All right, anyway, so that one is worth watching. All right, CCIH on Bounce Watch had that huge move, and then nothing but lower highs on the daily chart, but a nice tail today. That one goes on watch. It falls into that crypto space, I believe. MICT had this nice volume spike 3 sessions ago. Couple days lower, right down to the 8-day. I like this one for a turn back up. I like these big pops here, and I like the extra volume a few days ago. So this one looks pretty good on this pullback. NVFY, kind of another, it's a furniture store, but they've somehow gotten themselves into the crypto space, just like some cigar company has and some soda company hasn't. I mean, it's goofy, but it's certainly worth watching. It's pressing higher here, and then a lower high, and then it's starting to push up, a little flag, another push up, and now a couple days lower. It's absolutely worth watching. HTGM. This one gapped up in after hours on news. Last I saw, it's trading at 235. All right, so this one's absolutely worth watching. I don't know, trading somewhere right about here. And we'll see if it opens, gives us a gap and go play. Believe they had pretty good news after the market closed. WATT closed at 884. This is another one that ripped in after hours. Actually went over 17 at one point. And as I'm babbling right now, 1536 is where it's trading. So another, HTGM and WATT will be on our gap playlist tomorrow. I noticed them in after hours, so they made the list tonight. IPWR did really well in this one today. And it ended up closing well off of its highs. Closed at 166, but in after hours, it worked its way up to 185. We're seeing that a lot lately on some of these high flyers, and then they kind of dwindle lower during the day, and then in after hours, they get going again. Definitely want to watch this one tomorrow. Great volume today. We'll see if we get a setup in tomorrow. I had 2 nice trades in that one today. Where are we? TEUM. Talked about this one already, right? Halted, came out of the because of news. This first one was because of news. Then we got the volatility halt. Then we got another, I think, another volatility halt somewhere in there. Either way, this one ended up closing pretty darn strong. So look at the daily. A very, very strong close, actually. And absolutely worth watching tomorrow. I told everybody in chat, I said, if this thing closes strong, it's probably worth holding some for, for an after hours run. That's exactly what I said. I said it would never hold it all, and I also said, but anything can happen. They could have an offering or something like that. Anyway, as I'm talking, it's at 313 after closing at 280. So it's just what I suspected. Now, I didn't hold any into the close, but I made some really nice money on TEU. I think I made over $1,000 just in this stock today. Absolutely worth watching again tomorrow. IGC had a gap up today and closed, kind of ugly. But I want to watch it tomorrow. Sometimes you get the gap up, the red candle, and the very next day they pop. So that one goes on watch. IZEA, a little extra volume spike today, kind of breaking out of a little downtrend line today. Closing well off its highs, but maybe a red to green in that one tomorrow. ADMA, nice strong day today. Nice volume. Maybe back through 3 tomorrow. We'll see how it trades. Remember, I don't hold overnight, so these are all based on if I get a proper intraday setup. DMPI, gapped up. if you go to intraday, you can see this gapped up and sold off and became boring. Then it put in a lower high and actually closed kind of strong. So if you notice today's high, $1.19, the high from the middle of November, $1.20. So it's certainly interesting, up over $1.20, right? It might get going. So that one's worth watching. LMFA had some huge moves back here and then went down into oblivion, and then really nice volume today. And it's a low float stock, so we might see a nice continuation of this bounce tomorrow. So it goes on watch. Couple more. FH, big pop, quiet inside day. There's that third day play, which I wasn't watching it today, but again, decent volume and closing fairly strong. I like this setup for a possible move tomorrow. And then lastly, CBIO. It's a tough trader and it's a thin stock, and it's also kind of extended. If you see where the price is versus where the 8-day is, it's kind of extended, but it's also kind of flagging here. So I definitely want to watch CBIO. It's certainly interesting over 1380, over the most, over this 3-day high. Guys, that's plenty to watch, all right? And we'll find some gappers to add to the list as well in the morning. So I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.